Right now is cybersecurity advisor, CEO of the Viollis Group International, Paul Viollis. Good to see you, Paul. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Maria.
Explain what took place over the weekend. Do we know where this ransomware, it's known as WannaCryptor or WannaCry, originated?
Right. Well, there's actually several. There's some theories it could be non-state actors in China. I happen to think that it's Eastern Europe. This says Russia written all over it.
Really?
Absolutely, because their business model, you know, hackers typically follow a certain trajectory, and people that are going in this direction will typically come from Eastern Europe. And the manner in which that they're doing it, when they examine the value proposition, they look at the return on investment, they look to exploit human technical weakness, that's got non-state Russian actors written all over it.
What should we know in terms of seeing emails or getting hoodwinked by this?
Well, you know, Dominic touched on it earlier, and he's right on point. The fact that this is nothing new. We're not in the genesis of this whatsoever. This has been around for a while. You know, as a matter, we look at over 4,000 attacks a day, just in the United States, a 300% increase since 2015. So this is a pinprick. You know, as you mentioned earlier, this is just a pinprick globally. This should be a wake-up call, but it's not. What we should be looking for is the fact that this model does nothing more than exploit human weakness and technical vulnerability. It looks at the basic difference between IT and cyber. It knows that we're not spending money, and someone said earlier about hospitals. Look, this is a great business model. We're not prepared for it. We're still not looking at the anti-crime method, and that's exactly what they're taking advantage of.
But when you say it's nothing new, what is new, it seems like, is that this came from a vulnerability exposed by the NSA. Even Microsoft's lawyer is hinting that the NSA here in the U.S. could have contributed to this because they have tools that were leaked. What can these law enforcement agencies do, and you know, will this change protocol moving forward? That
is the most telling question, because it's really police, and I don't want to sound like a defeatist, but this isn't up to the police, and it's not up to federal law enforcement. Their point of access is actually through the human asset inside any organization. When we allow that information to come in procedurally, that information is clicked, uploaded, it's in your system. The interesting part about this, though, is that malicious code can live inside that system, and we don't know how long. IT scans won't pick it up. A true anti-crime will, but an IT scan won't pick it up.
So what do we do?
Well, the best part about this is that it is completely avoidable. Two things is to start embrace more of an anti-crime method with respect to managing our infrastructure at work. Not the basic IT. I love IT, well, we know they're invaluable, but we have to go anti-crime. We have to look at the trajectory that these criminals are getting into our workplace at, and then counter that with something that will pick them up on the outside instead of before they get in, and also train employees. It's amazing how many employees will click on information and then automatically it comes up into your system they shouldn't be opening up.
So is there something today that's going around that we should know about in terms of what it looks like, so how we can identify that?
Yes. Well,
and not click on it?
Yeah, it's a matter of practice, Maria, but at the end of the day, these emails will send out a spoof if you know what you're looking for. So, for example, if you're a hospital and that particular hospital, that particular administrator, whoever it may be on the other end receiving that email, gets an email that says something that looks like it's germane to business, whether it be a pharmaceutical issue or whatever the case may be, and they don't really look at who it's coming from, but they just open it. You know, it's a matter of this sense of urgency about opening with the phone and everything else. Right. Just taking a little bit longer and validating who's on the other end of the sending end of that email can actually stop this.
This might seem like a silly question, but should individuals pay the ransom to get their data decrypted?
No, it's not.
They have to.
They have to pay the ransom. And the other part is, if it's not negotiated correctly, these guys will raise the stakes. So try to jump in too quickly or way back too long, and then all of a sudden now that number of 20,000 went up to 30,000, went up to 40,000. And smaller firms, you know, law firms, wealth management firms, anybody that's got information housed that has financial information inside of it, those are the ones that are going to get hit next and hard inside the United States.
Pretty incredible. Thanks. Among the highest profile corporate victims was French automaker Renault, which was forced to shut down factories across Europe. They had to shut down.
FedEx here in the United States.
All right. But think about it, Maria. Everything that particular factory does is run by a computer. All they have to do is freeze it.